Hi, this is the fifth episode of iBookBindings podcast, and today our guest is Ekaterina Savelyeва with her alter ego Katie Ebru. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
And today I decided to make a little experiment, so I have a co-host, Pavel Voronin, joins us from Moscow, and I guess he will ask some questions and take part in this chat.
I'm certainly the layman of the group. I'll do my best not to sound too silly, but don't hold me to it. My only hope is that I spent last 15 years talking to Stepan about book and book craft, and hopefully some expertise has rubbed off on me.
We'll see about that. Sorry, what, Katie?
Pavel, did you also make bookbinding?
Oh, I made a grand total of like 2 bindings, maybe even 3. I'm mostly interested in historical books and historical book bindings, so my knowledge is vast but mostly theoretical.
Okay, so Katie, can you tell a bit about yourself? How did you start to do marbling, and what's your education? Is there any connection between your education and marbling? So what was your path to not to bookbinding but to marbling?
There is absolutely no any connection with my education and marbling. I've got marketing education in my native Krasnoyarsk city in the center of Russia. Then I worked for different companies, and how I met marbling, I don't know, was it by chance or not? First time, it was around 10 years ago when I watched the TV program about growing tulips, by the way, in Netherlands. And at the end of that program, there was very, very short shot where the very famous nowadays Ebru marbling master painted on the surface of water, and I was so surprised, amazed how he could do it. It was really a very impressive moment, even from TV, and I decided to find something about that. For that moment, there was absolutely no any information in internet at all. Maybe somehow, nowadays, I think maybe I heard that word Ebru, Abru, how the people speak the words differently. It depends on the country. In Arabic countries, they call more often Abri.
Yeah.
In the Western world, they say Ebru, or even more often marbling. Ebru goes mostly from the Turkey. They call it their Ebru. It's actually, for Russia, it's kind of new art for many people, but actually it's already quite old art. There are many versions about that. And for example, when I met with the historical scientists who is searching the history of marbling, his version that it goes from the 15th, 17th century, and he's a very interesting person, Jake Benson.
Yeah.
I met him in Ebru Congress. It was 4 years ago. Going back to the how I met it. 1 year later, after that moment, I saw that program once again. Maybe something happened and I heard that word by other way, and already 1 year later I searched some information from web and found the Turkish center in St. Peter. There I tried my first skills and felt this amazing art.
Turkish center in St. Petersburg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So they have some classes or courses or something like that?
As I know, nowadays it's closed already. I don't know what was the reason.
Okay.
But for that moment, it was like hobby classes for me, and I was there around 1 year and then stopped.
Sorry, I must have missed it. How long ago was that?
Around 10 years ago already. Yeah. Then it was a hobby for me in parallel with my formal job. Actually, I couldn't buy any for the first masters in Russia. It was very difficult to develop this art in Russia because we absolutely didn't have any materials and no information at all. Nowadays, it's much easier for people.
Yeah, it's the same problem with the materials for bookbinding in Russia, because it's really hard to get quality letters. It's really hard to get quality paper. So I guess for many sort of obscure crafts, it's a problem to get proper materials, and you have to order them from Europe.
Yes, not only
Yeah.
marble paper. You're
Yeah.
right. Then I went for 3 years to Turkey. Visited many different masters. Took the classes. It was very interesting and impressive. Something significant was for me 2016 is that International Ebru Congress where I met very interesting marblers from all over the world.
Yeah.
America, South America, Brazil, even there were several exhibitions. Generally, it was going during the week. Very interesting event was there. That event somehow changed my mind to the marbling way, because before that I was drawing more animation, Ebru flowers.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah, there is definitely a sort of separation between marblers who make different images and marblers who make patterns.
Did I get it correctly that by the time you went to Turkey, you were able to support yourself by marbling alone? By that time, it was your profession.
No, it was not. For marbling with bookbinders, I started to cooperate around 3-4 years ago. Somehow it was my already mission. Maybe I was invited to take part in the conferences in the State Library in Moscow, but also cooperated with the Russian National Library in St. Petersburg. And last November, I took part in the conference even in Hermitage. It was a nice experience.
I can imagine. So it's like for 3 or 4 years you are doing marbling as a professional, not just a hobby, or maybe a bit more.
Yeah, somehow yes.
Okay.
What was the project that allowed you to move from a hobbyist to a professional, or was it just an accumulation of contacts and works and reputation?
My practice, I started to develop myself in marbling, to do more and more paper. And when I felt that I can do it somehow, maybe not professional, but I did it better and better. And people, of course, I heard many positive feedbacks. And I decided really to do something good for people, which they need.
So advice for everybody: if you want to learn something, just start doing that, and you will get better and better over time.
Yeah.
And we met each other 2 years ago in 2018 in St. Nicholas during Bookbinders Fair in Belgium. The organizer decided that 2 Russians should be close to each other. And yeah, I was very happy to meet you and to buy some. I think I bought a couple of sheets from you.
You bought, yes. I saw your wonderful, very beautiful orange. It was orange paper.
Yeah. I love orange stuff.
It does. Pink too. You probably had nothing in pink, so he had to take orange.
I guess that's it for the introduction. Should we move to you showing us some marbling?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're prepared for the demonstration. Well, we are always prepared for the demonstration, and Katie will show us something.
As I understood, you would like to see traditional marbling, and I will show you basic pattern, which is called stone marble, or in Turkish it's called batal.
Yeah.
Everything is very easy.
Looks like magic to me.
Yeah. And that's some sort of special brush for marbling, or?
No, it's usual brushes which I use now. Special is this one. It's Turkish brushes which they do it from the rose stick of the rose tree, and this is horsehair.
Okay. And why it's so special? What's its? purpose?
And this which I use now, they're usual from the shop.
Okay, so just ordinary brushes for arts.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the purpose of the horsehair brush? Why it's so different?
Somehow difficult a bit to explain it, but when I work, you feel how the colors flashes to the water.
Okay, so it's sort of it grabs the paint in a different way or something like that.
Now I use traditional Turkish colors. It's my habit from the start of my way, and I like Turkish.
Okay. And we should say that this is your temporary shapeshift setup that you have in your country house,
Right.
not your main workshop.
No.
And that's a bit unfortunate.
Temporarily new studio.
Yeah, because I guess everybody would be happy to see your primary workplace, how it's organized.
Mm.
Maybe next time.
But it is inspiring that you can work from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what rapidly I've done. This is that stone marbling.
What?
So now it's ready to take it from the water.
And what did you do with the brush just a moment ago, by pinching the side?
No, it was not the brush; it was the stick. It's
Okay.
also Turkish stick.
Yeah.
Just a bit of round stick. Usually, they use it for drawing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very carefully, we should put it to the water.
Starts to curl right away.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the paper. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah, that's better. And that's magic. That's how magic is done.
Of course, it can be better.
Okay.
Because usually when I'm doing the paper, then next one, you feel the process, you feel how the colors work, and every next sheet of paper usually better, because you are adding the oxygel or you add the water, and it helps to create a better pattern.
Sharper and brighter patterns.
You can make it, of course, brighter or vice versa, less color, and also the main topic, how the color, the drops of color works, and how they open on the surface of water. It influences very much for the resultant quality of the pattern.
Yeah, to show something about that this sheet of paper you just worked on is not the very best one. This is what I did when we visited Paper Mill Museum in Basel in Switzerland. So that's what I call not the best one. And I should say that I was there with my wife, and she also made some experiments, and this one was hers, and I like it much more, so much more. I was like, okay, I will take this color and third color, and I wanted to take 2 more colors. And the lady who was in charge of this small workshop, she was, okay, that's enough. And I was like, oh,
that's all.
That's not enough. Yeah.
By the way, next to me, I have just several sheets of my paper.
Yeah.
Comparing this one, it was exactly that order which I've got a couple of weeks ago, and I did for US.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood. It's do you know how it's called?
Nope.
This pattern?
Nope.
No. It's the Spanish wave.
Spanish wave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I heard the name, but I absolutely didn't remember it.
It's also kind of stone. This one.
Yeah.
Not big collection I have here, sorry.
It was so fast that I was like, and that's it. We want more.
I will show you one more, and exactly you will see other materials which can be used in marbling. You should work very lightly with your hands, because many people, when they start to do marbling, their hands very tensioned.
Yeah. So you need to be calm and relaxed.
No, that's why many people, especially in Russia, they call it like art therapy for relaxation.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite combination of colors?
Combination?
Yeah.
I like, difficult to say. I like bright colors also, but at the same time, when I work with more traditional for bookbinding colors,
Yeah.
I mean brown one, black or green one,
Yeah.
it also can be very beautiful. They are more plain somehow, also very nice.
Yeah. Often marble papers with black paints are so striking. Even if there is no any bright colors in them, but somehow this black paint makes it so, I don't know, attractive.
But already now I feel that this one is better.
Okay.
Now, for example, I will actually talking about the materials. These brushes in marbling, they comparing with the usual types of drawing, where we draw by the paints. In marbling, we need brushes only for putting the colors on the surface. When you want to create some exact images, for example, flowers or something other, we already use these sticks.
Sticks, yeah.
But now, and every next pattern is creating from the previous one. Now I have done the stone marbling, and now I will make, in Turkish it's called gelgit. It's like go on there and back.
Okay. Is it something like chevron pattern or I'm wrong?
Yeah. There are so many different names that, frankly speaking, I don't remember all of them.
Yeah.
But now I feel that water works a bit wrong.
And I guess that's the pattern for which all this sort of brushes and all that stuff is used. Yeah, when you're sort of trying to not to work with one stick, but when you have a brush with lots of pins and work it through the basin.
Already this also can be transferred to the paper. Yeah. I would like to make this next one.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. All sorts of brushes, and I don't know how, combs, not brushes, combs.
Combs. It's a comb.
Yeah.
It's like a very, very big brush here.
Yeah. I forgot.
Wood, there are many nails. It creates very beautiful pattern.
What is it made of?
Huh?
What is the comb made of? Is it a wooden comb? Does it matter?
Wooden, and the nails.
I don't think it really matters what is the material which is made of.
Look at it precisely now, how the pattern is changing.
Yeah.
Now that looks very traditional. I've seen 17th century marble papers that look exactly like this.
Yes, yes, it was very popular 18th century.
And I guess
And
that's the part of the process which should be especially slow. I mean, you shouldn't hurry when you use a comb.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Because everybody like, if they do it very rapidly,
Yeah.
somehow the quality of pattern also is, the water is very flexible,
Yeah.
and everything goes very rapidly, and also the quality is getting worse.
There should be some turbulences in water or something like that. So it should go like swirling.
Now I can make, for example, something other, like what would this fix?
Okay, so it wasn't even the end.
And this is just water and color and nothing else, or do you add something to it?
It's not clear water. It's thick water. I use special thickener. I use Karagen to make the water thick.
And as I understand, there are lots of types of this Karagen. I don't know how it's pronounced, and you should use some specific ones and not the others because they have different properties or something like that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could invite you to draw with me. Welcome.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's an app for that.
I have a basin for marbling somewhere here, but I for sure don't have a mix right now.
No, it looks quite attractive.
And which century would that be with this pattern?
If I'm not badly mistaken, 18th, 19th.
So it's a bit later. They started with a simpler one and then decided to add some twist to it.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3.
And I wanted to bring some attention to how you take the sheet out of the basin, because you are taking away the excess material, the excess water and mix away from paper by dragging it over the edge of the basin. So
over the edge, yes.
This gelatinous material that stays.
It's a good note, because many people, when they start to work, they do it. They just raise it up from the water.
Yeah.
But it's better to move it through the edge, because it's getting dry also.
Yeah. I guess I understand why people are anxious not to bring it over the edge, because they may be afraid that the colors will be destroyed, or they will, I don't know, go away or something like that. But yeah, they don't.
No.
Okay.
That was fascinating.
It's also quite famous pattern for the book binding.
Yeah. And what happens next? It has to dry, or do you need to press it? So how it works?
I have the special shelves, shelf dryer. I put my big sheets there, and they can stay. No, minimum it takes, I think, 20-30 minutes. Usually I do and forget about them, and then next day I work with them once again, put under the press, when it's getting already dry. And
do you fix it somehow? I'm not sure. I think there are questions about fixing the paint on the paper. So
yes, that was the question.
Yeah, I guess we will talk about it when we move to our Q&A section.
Should I switch off the camera or not? By the way, I can draw some flowers, some eyebrow patterns.
Yeah.
What about that beautiful, exquisite wavy thing? How does that work? Maybe you could show us that.
Wave.
Yeah.
You are very curious.
Yes, he is. I was ready to say, yeah, sure, draw some tulips or something, but Pavel isn't that simple. He's going for the good stuff.
For the trademark secrets.
Yeah.
Do you plan to make paper?
Perhaps one day, when I have a studio of my own. And what is the longest one pattern takes you? Because the first one only took you like seconds. At least it felt like it. This one took 2-3 minutes. And what is the most complicated one that can take how long?
Usually I do it in 5-6 minutes on the big tray. It depends how many colors you put there, what materials, and what the pattern do you create.
And your pen would be how much bigger than this one?
And this one, I think, if it's 34 times bigger.
Okay. That's impressive.
Usually, marble paper, I make the size 50-70 centimeters. That wave pattern can be done even with one color. The secret of that pattern is that you should move the sheet of paper when you take it out.
But yeah, I asked you before, but why do you put the stick through the surface of water?
Because I saw some trash on the surface now, and I took it, have taken it out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
By the way, Pavel, you asked me how rapidly I do it usually. As the Turkish master said me when I was studying there, it's important to do everything in marbling quite rapidly, because the result which you make depends how you do it. Of course, depends of the temperature, it depends of the humidity of the air in the room, and also the treasures which we have in the air, dust, for example. It also flying on the surface, and it influences for the result.
So you should better do it in a clean room. Like NASA great facility where they make satellites, where there is absolutely no dust.
If I would do it now outside, definitely it will be other result, because there is wind. Yeah.
But I guess if you do it in the spring when there is a lot of pollen in the air or something, it may add to visual pattern of the paper.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm making the wave.
Okay. Okay.
So that is different.
This is different. Well, not very clear. This way.
Yeah.
Not very
but we still can see it. Yeah, we can see it, definitely. Okay, this is fun.
And to create the perfect wave pattern, it also needs time of practice, because you should somehow feel and manage your hands very clearly, and everything should be should be the same distance, the same deepness also. And
yeah, so it's much more precise work with this pattern.
Yeah, somehow yes. If you see old books, I paid attention that they are very, very direct. The waves.
So they spent a lot of time training and training to make exactly the straight patterns they want to make.
As I heard from one bookbinder, he said that it also can be not handmade, semi-handmade paper, and when they use machine. And machine, I think, definitely can create more direct line.
You mean not printed, but machine-made marbling? So it's similar process, but not with hands. Okay, I never heard about that. that's a new one.
In Moscow, I heard about that.
Okay, that's interesting. But somehow removes all the magic from the process.
And cheaper.
And what are you planning to do now?
To show maybe some flower on, if you want.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Now
again, a traditional Turkish pattern.
This one is just one color of background for the flower. Because flowers usually they make on more plain one color background to make it, of course, more visible. You hear other colors because they are more concentrated.
So it's a different paint.
No, it's the same paint, but more concentrated. There is less water.
Okay.
Maybe from this side it would be better.
And the idea is for the color not to flow as easily. That's why it's concentrated. So you have more control.
More control, yes.
And I think it will be dense in the same spot. It won't spread over the larger surface, so the same amount of paint will remain in a smaller spot.
Oh, so it's reversible too.
Okay, yeah. That was impressive.
And managing the form of the rounds, you create different forms.
I think our comments is exactly what happens when outsiders watch professionals doing their job. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know this is possible. Oh, wow, this is magic.
Now I'm doing quite rapidly. And sorry for the non-perfect result.
So it's a stem and leaves already.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're moving to make petals.
Flower itself.
Yeah.
One moment.
So this one was too dry or too not too. This one wasn't moist.
If I see that the color doesn't open, I add the oxygall to the pigment.
Okay. And oxygall smells awfully.
I've got used to that already.
Yeah, I guess when you work with it all the time, you get used to it. When I first opened it, I was like, wow, that's a strange smell.
Drop by drop, you make the round bigger.
And this is sort of the same idea that's behind this Japanese type of marbling. I'm not sure, Suminagashi or
in Suminagashi they use only ink.
Yeah. But I mean, they drop ink inside the same spot, and then it creates this sort of pattern. I was talking about that. So you've been creating this flower exactly in the same way because you were putting more and more ink in the center. But yeah, of course, materials are different, inks or paints. And so what kind of flower is it?
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay.
I can make other one.
And if we speak of Turkish or Ottoman marbling, which patterns came first? Flowers and other sorts of, or geometric patterns were first?
First pattern was.
We lost connection from your phone. Sorry.
I don't like it.
Okay. So which patterns were the first for the Ottomans?
Stone marbling was the basic, and how smooth can be.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable because
using different instruments, they create others patterns.
Yeah. Okay. That's a sort of, you can see evolution because a stone pattern is this simplest because you just put some color on your water and then make pattern.
By the way, I wouldn't say that it's the easiest because to create the very beautiful stone, it also takes time. And so, as I remember, one Turkish master, which gave me a short practice, he said, if you can make a very beautiful stone marbling, it means that you're already a perfect marbler. Really, despite that it looks very easy, just dropping the colors on the surface and that's all. But to create a perfect one, it's really, you need the skills.
That's one more newbie mistake on my part.
What about the aesthetics of stone? Are they trying to imitate some kind of stone, or is it more of an imaginary texture? What is valued more? Is it more of an artistic idea behind it, the combination of colors and textures? Or are they really trying to imitate stone?
It depends of your wish, how you see the process of why it's called marbling, I think, because exactly the patterns and stone pattern itself, it reminds the stones and marblings. If you will make many moves over the stone, you will create also very beautiful. It looks house marbling, but it reminds really the natural stone in the mountains.
Yeah, that's true. Some patterns really look like real stone and like real marble.
I've seen many Turkish marble papers with tulips incorporated in them. Is it still a theme?
Yes, it's very important for them to draw the flowers. Well, it's the speciality, I think, of Turkish marbling, that they somehow, what's the importance and the role of Turkish marbling, that they developed the marbling, which was appeared in Persia, Ottoman Empire, and they developed it with high quality. And they, if you will look in internet, you will find their amazing, very beautiful flowers, which nowadays Turkish marblers do.
Yeah.
And it's the specialty of Turkish marbling, I think.
But it's all kinds of flowers, not only tulips.
Yeah.
Okay. And that one is also some sort of floral pattern or something else?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, it's flower.
Okay. Are there any other favorite flowers for Turkish masters besides tulips?
Why they like to draw the flowers? Because they're very symbolic, and it's canon flowers for them. Because, for example, tulip associated for the all Muslims with Allah. It's called lale in Turkish,
Yeah.
Allah. And I remember a rose, for example, with the Muhammad.
Okay.
That's why they like the flowers.
So it has a lot of cultural importance as well, not only visual. And understand.
Even in Turkey, there are two big groups of marblers who like very traditional, what exactly marble patterns, and they draw even flowers in strong rules. And the other big group, they are somehow more modern.
More
artists.
experimental.
Yes, and they create everything.
Okay. I guess this happens in bookbinding as well, because there are experimental bookbinders, there are designer bookbinders, and there are bookbinders who follow all the traditional ways of 17th, 18th centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
And often the latter is the exactly how mass media portray bookbinders. Like this is 2,000-year-old craft. They still make books like they did when Jesus was alive.
There were no books when Jesus was alive.
Well,
only
it's, we don't know, but it's supposed that codex format was already there in the first century. So yeah, there is a chance. Okay, this is something much more different. Is it a rose? Okay. Absolutely different leaves. Oh wow, this is fun.
And the whole construction is different. The principle of it changed completely.
Yeah. And now you have two centers. Then you had only one center.
Already improvisation.
Okay. Not only two, much more centers. This is interesting. And that other masters who work not only with, I don't know, flowers, but do something like animals or some other drawings on.
I call it already water animation.
Okay.
In parallel with stand animation.
I think
sometimes I also did it in past.
Oh, you two tried this?
Yes, I did when companies invited me for the events.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I saw something like that somewhere on the internet, but yeah, there are definitely
videos.
There are definitely more flowers and geometric patterns on the internet. I'm just thinking that this part will be not so interesting for people who will be listening to the audio version of the of this podcast. Yeah, but I guess they can skip to Q&A and just listen to Katie answering the questions. More reasons to subscribe to iBookbinding's YouTube channel. Are there some sorts of paper that wouldn't curl as much Or is it just a matter of density of paper or something?
I think so.
Do you ever work with handmade paper? Would that make difference? Wow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Very rapidly. It can be very useful. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
When I experimented with marbling at home, I did it for a couple of times. I tried to marble paper that I made myself, and I got something like this.
Mm. It looks like acrylic colors. Acrylic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what the professional is. through a bad laptop camera, that looks like acrylic colors. Okay. You're absolutely right.
And what kind of colors do you use?
I like to use natural pigments. They are the pigments because I was studied to work with pigments, and they, of course, there is a bit difficult, especially for starters, how to work with pigments. But they give the perfect results with the brightness, especially when you draw the uh, flowers. It's easier to manage the pigments than acrylic colors. Of course, I can work with acrylic, and acrylic colors used more um, to decorate the fabric, for example, ceramic. Because I work with them not so much. I work with pigments.
Perhaps you could name the pigments that you used just now. What is the yellow one? What is the blue one? And especially the pink one. That didn't look natural at all.
All my pigments, they're from Turkey. I bought them already many years ago, and they use them. And I use different, do you see? Different brands, Turkish brands. There, for example, Kadim Sanat. Sanat, it's the art. Oh, what else? Oh, it's Ayan, very old Ayan Ebru company.
So you ordered them from Turkey, or?
No, I bought them, yes, in Turkey. It's Karin. They're all of them Turkish.
I was just wondering what kind of natural substance or stone could do that one wonderful pink color.
Did you marble your phone case on your own as well?
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw it at the shop, it's once I decided to take it, that it should be mine.
Okay, that's a perfect match. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Pavel, you wanted to ask something. I interrupted.
I was wondering what kind of pigments those were. I know stones that are blue and that are yellow, but is it mainly stone? What are those? Is it aquamarine? I mean, ochre,
Okra, yeah, they're natural. Frankly speaking, I didn't follow to that question, but they created from nature. Once when I was in Turkey, I walked around the city with one month, and we worked on the hills. He took from the ground a bit the ground. It was, I remember, the brown one, and he said that, oh, look at this, from this ground you can create perfect brown color, for example.
To see all our videos, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can subscribe to our newsletter on ibookbinding.com to get all the updates about future guests and current podcasts. Our next guest is, I will butcher the name, but it's Inger Duvik. I'm not sure. I think I should have asked him beforehand how his name is pronounced. From Norway. Katie knows him.
Yes, I know him.
Yeah, and he was quite happy when he found out that today we are recording with Katie. He's an amateur bookbinder. He's not a professional bookbinder, but he's an award-winning bookbinder, and he makes
just really very beautiful.
Yeah, he makes stunning books and design bindings. We will talk with him about his recent projects and about his history as a bookbinder.
He also bought the paper from me.
Yeah, and he was very happy with your paper.
It was the order, actually. He sent me the example, and I tried to repeat it. He was satisfied.
Okay, yeah. He told a lot of nice things about you, so I guess he was quite satisfied. And Katie, who you would like to see as one of the future guests of iBookbinding podcast? Do you have somebody on your mind?
You mean bookbinders?
Bookbinders, book professional, paper makers, marblers, just anyone who is related to bookish things in general.
I know very nice, very actually, I think professional bookbinder. Definitely, you should know her, Lewis from Belgium, maybe.
I think I know, yeah, whom you are talking about. Okay, and if some of our viewers have any ideas on who would be a good guest for our podcast, we'll try to reach out to this person and to arrange a recording in future. And last but not least, many thanks to iBookbinding's patrons on Patreon. We're not charging any fees, any pledges these months during the lockdowns and at least until September. And we made our collection of bookish books free and available for everybody for this time. But you still can join the crowd of patrons and become our supporter. The system will charge you one first time, but the future payments will be delayed at least until September. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you, Katie, for showing us a lot of stuff, for answering the questions. Thank you, Pavel, for being with us and asking some questions. It was fun.
Bye.
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 Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
You see in autumn.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully.
If you don't leave Europe.
Yeah.